Good day. Today I am going to teach you the process of wiring a three-way switch circuit. But first, why do we use a three-way switch circuit? We use a three-way switch circuit in order to control a single load such as a light bulb from two different locations using these two SPDT single pole double throw, or what we call as three-way switches. So we can use either of the switch to turn this light bulb on and off. So if we click this, it will turn on, and if we click the other switch, it will turn off, and vice versa. We begin by creating and analyzing the circuit diagram. So this is the circuit diagram for the three-way switch wiring. This is the circuit breaker, the light bulb and its socket, and the two SPDT switches. So these are wires connecting the terminals of the components. So first, one terminal of the circuit breaker is connected to the socket, and the other terminal of the socket is connected to the switch, and the other terminal for the circuit breaker is connected to the other switch, and the corresponding output terminals of the switches are connected to each other. When there is a closed path in the circuit, electricity can flow and the light bulb will illuminate. Prepare a layout of the components in order to measure the length of wire needed. And these are the components of the switch. So this is the light bulb and its socket, the two SPDT switches, the circuit breaker, the wire, and the male plug. And these are the tools and equipment that we will be using for this wiring: screwdrivers, pliers, electric tape, and a multi-tester. Let's begin. Install the components in their respective locations. In real-life application, the sockets are installed on the ceiling and the switches are installed on walls. Cut the appropriate length of wire and strip its ends in order to expose the strands. Twist the strands of wire in order to connect it easily to the terminals of the components. Repeat this step until all the wires needed for the connection are prepared. For the two output terminals of the switches, we need two wires. Prepare the wires that will be used for connecting the circuit breaker to the switch, the bulb socket to the switch, and the circuit breaker to the bulb socket. Now all the wires are prepared, and we begin connecting these wires to the terminals of the components. As mentioned earlier, in connecting the output terminals of the switch, it should be terminals 1 to 1 and 3 to 3. Be sure that the wire is connected securely into the switch, as to that when you pull the wire, it won't come off. If the wires are not connected securely into the components, the circuit may not function properly. Next, prepare the screwdriver to connect the wires to the terminals of the light bulb socket. Insert the wires into the holes and secure the screws in order for the wire to stay in place and not get detached. Connect the wire from the bulb socket to the common terminal of the switch labeled 0. Next, connect the switch and the socket to the circuit breaker. Secure the screws in the circuit breaker to keep the wires connected to it. Connect a male plug to the other terminals of the circuit breaker. The circuit is done and it is now ready for testing. To test for the functionality of the circuit, insert a wire between the plug. We will use a multi-tester in order to test for the resistance. Turn the circuit breaker on. Plug the probes of the multi-tester to the bulb socket. Then alternatingly click the switches and check if the resistance alternates between high and low. If it does, then it is functioning properly. If not, review the diagram and rewire the circuit. Cover any uninsulated wires and tape them in place for safety. The circuit is now ready for use. Insert the light bulb and plug the socket into the outlet. As you can see, alternately pressing the switches turn the lights on and off. With this, we have completed wiring a three-way switch circuit. Thank you.